2, man. What's going on, Silent H? Back with another vid. If you guys didn't see, man, a lot of you know Bronny James had actually recently not played against Mikey Williams in Vertical Academy due to an injury, and we just got a big update. So let's break it down and get right into it. If you do like these type of vids, though, make sure you like the vid. But man, Bronny James, of course, man, that was one of the biggest matchups we wanted to see. We wanted to see Bronny go head-to-head against Mikey Williams and really prove that he has it. A lot of people like to pick on Bronny James, but I think part of it is rightfully so, because at times we just don't see that type of aggression on the court, and a lot of people want to say that his game really doesn't revolve around scoring, but I think number one is because, of course, he has so many scores on his team, it's going to be difficult to make your presence known, and I feel as though sometimes Bronny James just really skates to the back end where he's not really giving his game the all. Now, of course, on one end, I gotta say his defense is there. Him passing the ball, making those high IQ plays is absolutely there, rebounding and doing those other things. But at the high school level, I have to argue, you have to be able to put the ball in the basket. There's no doubt about that. And although he's not doing that all the time, he's definitely showed it in games where this dude dropped 16, 20 points and was super aggressive, knocking down his shots. And I gotta say, his three-point jump shot was looking good when he was playing in EYBL. He was knocking down a ton of shots, going crazy. So I gotta give that to him. But when we talk about his injury, man, a lot of you guys know he wasn't able to play against Mikey Williams due to a knee injury. Now, as many of you know, Bronny actually did have surgery on his knee not too long ago, and I have stated this since day one. You never want to come back from surgery and having an injury too early, because of course that can cause chronic injuries where you continue to keep getting hurt over and over again, and that definitely can affect the trajectory of your overall career. You don't want to have to go to college and continue to really deal with injuries and being out and not being able to play the game that you love, and the whole reason you're even probably going to that school, or at least part of it. Now, in this case, a recent update was just talked about Bronny James, and actually says that Bronny is expected to return soon. Of course, he's actually slated to play in this Thanksgiving tournament in Dallas, Texas, which is great news because we want to see how he's going to perform. I'm sure there are going to be a ton of really solid teams there, and the real question is, man, how is Bronny going to play? What Bronny is actually going to show up? Because you guys know sometimes, again, he's more in the back end. We really don't see him scoring, and people like Amari Bailey and all these other dudes who have a ton of talent on his squad like to take the scoring, and really that's what they do. And I think when you're on such a talented team, absolutely it's going to be tough for you to really put the ball in the basket, but at some point you have to make your presence known. Now, some people are even saying Bronny maybe should even leave Sierra Canyon, but here's the thing with that. Now, on one end, yes, Bronny may be able to put up more points and be able to play at another school where he can really shine, but number two, is that really getting him better? We got to ask that question, because it's all about growth and development and preparing yourself for the next level. And if you're playing with the best of the best, most likely, or really talented teams at Sierra Canyon, one would argue that that would be the best place you would want to play. And the reason being is because you're going to sharpen your game and be more prepared and ready to equip the fast-paced college game or whatever you do next. And the reason going to a weaker school would not help this at all. Now, on the other hand, man, it may help to develop some confidence. I gotta give him that, because Bronny can score the ball, but I think it's just his team really does not need him to score the ball all the time. But if he did go to another squad, man, maybe he would really develop that confidence, and we would be looking at him like he was that guy on the court, because I think partially he definitely has it in him. Now, Sierra Canyon actually played against Oak Hill Academy, which you guys know, that's one of the best schools out here, best schools in the country, and they actually won the game 70-67. Oak Hill won the game, which is tough. At the end of the day, man, I think Bronny and maybe Amari Bailey as well could have helped out, because you guys know Amari wasn't playing as well, but a lot of people are really questioning why both of these guys got injured at the same time and weren't able to play against Mikey Williams. But I'm gonna leave that up to you as well, because of course, man, I haven't heard of these guys getting injured previously, but apparently it was common knowledge, and a lot of people knew these dudes were not going to be playing in those games. Now, when we talk about injuries as well, I think this can affect where Bronny's going to go to college, because of course, man, you got to be ready to go when you go to play at the next level. Now, Bronny getting older and older, at some point, we're just going to have to say this dude needs to be ready to go out there, get buckets, and stop playing around with things and really show who he's made of, what game he has, and what he can do on the court. And what we've seen so far, I got to be honest, I think there's some consistency on the defending end, rebounding, and making passes. But on the scoring end, I really have not seen that consistency that I think a lot of scouts or other people would like to see. Now, with that being said, a lot of scouts did actually say that they were impressed with Bronny James' game when he was playing in EYBL, and I think he was doing a lot of the little things right, but he showed he had the ability to score, which I think knowing and having the IQ when to pass the ball and when to put the ball in the basket can go a long way when you're playing at the next level and playing with people that may even be better than you if we're talking about places like the NBA. Now, of course, Bronny is ranked 49th in the class of 2023, which, yes, that says a lot. Some people don't even think this dude should be ranked. And of course, you know, we're going to get the last name excuse and this and that. But at the end of the day, man, we're not dealing with what ifs. That is his last name, and that's where they have him ranked. But do rankings really matter? In my opinion, no, they don't. And the reason why they don't matter that much is because, of course, there are people that have been ranked plenty high, and then, of course, they continue to play the game and go further and further in their career. And sometimes they fall off. They're really just not as good as what they are projected to be. Now, when we talk about recruitment, Bronny has not shown any interest in schools as of right now. And I think that's tough because he's getting older, and usually people like to make these decisions around their junior year. But there are really 4 primary schools that are looking at Bronny, and it's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky. Now, it's crazy because, of course, some people think maybe Bronny would have wanted to go to Duke because Coach K was there. But you guys know by now, Coach K is actually retiring, which means he's not going to be there. The same coaching staff is not going to be there. And that could change a lot of things with the program. Now, in addition to this, of course, you have schools like Kentucky and Kansas. And I think the major point here is whatever school has a strong connection with LeBron. I think that's what it may come down to, because a lot of it is, number one, I think that it's really that connection and people that can really show that they have a really good program where Bronny can develop and get some type of shine and really get that tough love to get him to the next level. But on the other hand, I think the one big thing that people are not noticing is that Bronny also showed some potential interest. There were reports out of going to an HBCU, a historical black college university. And when we know, I think that would change a lot of things for the game of basketball. Again, more people may want to actually go to those type of schools, which is definitely an untraditional route for top recruits. We don't see it happen all the time. But you guys know, I believe it was McCord Maker that actually made that move to one of those schools. But there are a few players who have actually done that and made the move to go to one of these schools. But I definitely think that it would be wild. Now, some people are also saying UCLA may be another spot where Bronny wants to go to. But man, I think the options are really limitless for this dude. One, because of his last name, but two, I think he's played well enough to at least play at the college level. And we'll only know, time is going to tell whether he actually will be able to be effective in the college game or if he'll try to go straight to the league. But personally, man, I don't think that's a good idea. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below about that injury update as well as his recruitment. Make sure you like the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Selling each of them out.